Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday, the 15th of December's planning meeting. Welcome to the members of the public who have taken the time out of their day to come and speak. We'll let you speak shortly. Right, first of all, apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Riddle and Councillor Brown.
Public questions or statements?
None received.
Councillor questions or statements?
None received.
Minutes of previous meeting. Has everybody read them and is everybody happy with them? Yep. I will sign them at the end. Declarations of interest.
Undeclared.
Dispensations.
Nope. None.
This is the chair's announcements. The only announcement I have is that it's nearly Christmas and we're nearly on the flip side of it all. So if you like Christmas, woohoo. If you don't, we're nearly there. And we can celebrate the new year and hopefully it'll be a good one. Right. Planning applications submitted since 17th of November this year. So we'll go with the first one, which is the Bremer Lodge one, so that these lovely people can come and speak. If you'd like to take to the microphone, and Andy will prepare the bits.
I'll just show you first that the gentleman's got his comments here, if you'd like to read it, which is this one here, okay?
Thank you, Madam Chairman and Committee. I'm Dr. Christopher Nettle, and I live at number 16 Stratford Road, which is next door to the site that you're looking at. Can I just give you a brief historical perspective? This is the fourth application on this site. First of all, there was the original Braemar Lodge in around 2000, which was started in 2010. And then the next application was for the extension of Bremer Lodge, and the building of that went on between 2023 and 2024. And then the 6 months in this year, Coltons have added, they've extended the bedrooms on the southwestern aspect. And now we're faced with another application to build 4 more bedrooms to extend that towards our garden. The main objection that we have, or the first objection we have, is that the plans are incorrect. The application is incorrect. I've got a photograph here which shows we're referring to the existing northwest southeast view, the existing, and in that view it shows, if I can pass that as a large photograph to help you see what the existing end block looks like. The existing end block has no windows on it, but on the plans it shows 2 windows on the left-hand side, one upper and one lower, which aren't there. And the proposed development is there to be 4 bedrooms on that end piece, end construction. So my first point is that the existing plans are incorrect. We're particularly concerned about further extension of that block, because that block overlooks our garden. And I'll pass these photographs around, which show that extension from our garden. And our particular concerns is that part of the garden has been specially constructed. It's got a walled yew hedge. Inside is a pond. And this is a place we like to go and sit and watch wildlife. And also it's an area where we entertain our family. And the idea that there would be 4 more bedrooms overlooking our garden, we find is totally unacceptable. The noise, the lights, and our loss of privacy. Other points that I'd like to draw to your attention are we've had noise and dust of contractors over the last 15 years, and this is yet another episode. And one of the things that we've noticed is the deterioration of Stratford Road. With all the heavy vehicles that have come in with cranes on top and all the construction material. And Stratford Road, particularly in our area, it's got lots of potholes, which we believe are a consequence of all this construction. I think you've got all the information that I've got here on your introduction. There's the issue of increased traffic, particularly during construction. There's lots of problems with all the parking of the contractor vehicles and the difficulty of access to Southwarks Grammar School and other services in the area. So we oppose that for those reasons. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to kick us off for this? Andrew?
Yeah, thank you very much. I actually live down Stratford Road a little bit further along, so I do use that. And indeed, went along that road here tonight. I, certainly have sympathies with the disruption. I mean, they have had a major rebuild, effectively on both sides, initially erecting what is to the bottom of that picture on the left, and the extension proposed is at the top of the picture on the left. As you can see around that sort of thinly dotted box there, that's the 2 extra rooms on 2 floors, making 4 rooms. As I say, I have significant sympathy with the disruption that's taken place across that road and the parking difficulties that it had. I think I'd probably make 2 comments on that. One is, any development is going to take disruption. I've got my next door neighbour building, and that causes me disruption. But I find it difficult to think that we should refuse development as to disruption whilst it's building. And the scale of this compared with what went on before is very small. And there are more parking places where the developer could use, to support this additional build. I think the second point I would make is I sympathise with the potholes along there, along Stratford Road, but I don't think it's just caused by this development. I mean, I think it's just the general traffic along Stratford Road, and I'm not sure, this additional small development would make a tangible difference to that. In terms of the privacy of the garden, which is just to the left of the, it's just, there. It's the garden there and the pictures that we've passed round. I note that the extension obviously takes you closer to the boundary with Mr. Nettle's house, but it doesn't take you right up there. There would still be a line of trees, as you can see in the sort of the gap in between there. In terms of being overlooked, I think potentially, I'll throw it out for discussion here, that you could possibly say that the windows in the upper floors, because the lower floors are well screened, with hedging. There's quite a tall hedge, which you can see from the printed pictures. But the upper floors, I think you could potentially put a planning condition on to say that those door windows have to be frosted, or at least frosted for the lower half. So unless you're a sort of 7-foot giant, then you could see the sky, but not necessarily, down into the neighbour's garden. The lower floors, I don't think you'd need to do that, because each of those apartments will have windows, top and bottom, if you like, as opposed to facing left on that particular picture. So I think you could overcome the privacy concerns that would emanate from the top floor flats by putting a window frosting covenant on it, which would overcome the privacy concerns from the next door garden. Thank you.
Al?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with Andrew's assessment, actually. I think, unfortunately, any development is going to have some sort of disruption due to construction traffic. And I would, in my opinion, the only grounds for objection would be overlooking. And I think putting in a condition about the window glass type is a sensible measure to mitigate that.
Phil?
Yeah, I agree with both fellow councillors, really. As long as there's no way that they could be overlooked and obscure glazing or something put in those windows. Again, I'm just repeating what the previous two have said. With construction, there's always going to be that. Once construction's done, the traffic will go away for that part. Yeah, I can't really see a way that we can refuse the build for what we've been given. But I obviously do take Mr. Nettle's concerns, but I feel we can't object to what's there at the moment.
Jenny?
Well, bearing in mind this will go to Wiltshire anyway, won't it? I think, obviously, I agree with the guys, but I do agree that we should put the caveat on it that it's got to have the frosted glass upstairs. I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really that we could.
I think, from my perspective, I actually do believe it is overdevelopment now on that site, because it is like the third or fourth expansion they've done, and they'll keep pushing because they make money out of it, unfortunately. The size of what they've proposed isn't that bad. Would frosted glass actually, if we actually put the caveat on there that we would only agree with, would you be happy with that?
That would mitigate the problem. Yes, thank you.
Okay, right, all in favour of that then? Yeah. Yeah, then we'll put that on as a comment. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and spending your Monday evening with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, convenience store at St Peter's Place, fascia sign, projecting sign, die-bond graphic panel to be mounted on a pole. I don't think there was any comments on there. It all seems fairly self-explanatory and necessary. I didn't have a problem with it. All in favour? Yeah. Yeah, support. Balmoral Road, proposed two-storey extension and alterations. Has anybody looked at this in depth? Andrew?
I had a quick look and in terms of Balmoral Road, effectively it's just extending out of the back. It's not extending sideways, and it's one of those sort of long plots, and equally it doesn't feel as though it's it's going to encroach on the sort of the neighbours. So I am happy with it.
Al?
Yeah, this is just around the corner from me. Most of the houses in Balmoral Road are fairly big properties with reasonable sized gardens, so I can't see a reason to object to this. I'm happy just to no comment this.
Phil, did you have anything to say? No, Jenny? No? Happy to go no comment? All in favour of that? Yep, done. Clifton House, the Portway, Stratford Subcastle, single-storey rear extension. No comments. Anybody want to speak on this? Andrew?
So yeah, I'm just trying to slightly remind myself what this was. Yes, I know exactly where it is. So by the bottom of Hudson's Field, and I think that's just sort of extending out and across the front to so it doesn't come any further than bits that are already there, but it's just effectively expanding that into a sort of bigger hallway and internal space to the left of the front door, and I think it's entirely reasonable.
Everybody happy with it? No comment? Yeah, no comment. Victoria Road. Yeah, change of use. Anybody got any view on this one? Andrew?
Sorry, I've looked at this. This is down close to where one of the dreaded footbridges under threat are, and it's a sort of. I don't think they're changing anything on the upstairs. It's just the downstairs had sort of two entrances and could be slightly separated, and they just want to bring it together with a big, kitchen stroke, lounge breakfast room. So that bottom left picture there, it just sort of opens up, knocking down a wall. And again, there's no expansion of the outside walls or anything. It's just knocking down. So, and it looks entirely fine.
Anybody else got any comments on this, or are we going to go no comment? Everybody happy for no comment? Yeah. Chaffing Grove School, horse chestnut tree. Oh, we'll do that one at the end. We do like doing them at the end. Right. Elmfield House, Petersfinger. This one is a huge, massive load of documents, but actually the one that I was interested in was the highways one, because they've asked for it to be deferred because they can't make their decision because it's too close to Christmas. So I think that we should wait until they've commented. Is that all right? Sleepy shoulders, yes. Yeah, we'll pass that one off. Thank you.
Sorry, could I just make a comment?
Yeah.
I think we're entirely right in delaying this because it is all about the highways. If you do get a chance to look at it, for those people who maybe haven't, I would point them towards, if like, the houses that are closest to the main Southampton Road.
Okay.
And the noise impacts on those, and seed in your mind an idea that potentially they're trying to squeeze too many houses into the plot, and the ones that are closest to the Southampton Road are a bit dubious. And the second part, which is again all tied to the highways bit, is although it meets the parking requirements as a minimum, given the road to the north will become, the one and only real main access road, which is a very, albeit it used to be the old Southampton Road, is actually very narrow and it's on a sort of national cycle highway. You will end up lorries there, which will impact existing residents. So it's just something to, if you do get a chance to look at it in more detail, those things you might wish to take a closer view on.
Yeah, so I could actually just echo the National Highways to the officer too and ask for the extension, just what they're some matching their comments. That's your idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Al.
Sorry, just to build on what Andrew's just said, it is part of National Cycle Route 24, which runs from Bath to Eastleigh. It's well used by cyclists, although some residents around there have a habit of throwing tacks on the road. Well, it's nicknamed Tack Alley. Hasn't happened for a while, but yeah, the potential increase in traffic, I think, particularly from my point of view, is unwelcome. But yeah, defer to National Highways.
Okay, that's fine. Phil?
Yeah, again, I'll just add to what the two gents said. With there being 15 to 20 properties being put in there, you could look at 30 to 40 cars going in and out of there. The road is not big enough as it is. There's no street lighting. There's no pavements. It's just not the place for that amount of building. I think it's definitely overdevelopment.
I wonder if highways will come back and say that maybe it's overdeveloped
They've
as
already,
well.
because they've
Yeah.
already replied a couple of times and said they don't agree to it.
So I think we need to wait for their verdict again and then comment off the back of that,
Yep.
because that will give us a more structured plan. Okay. Right, number 4, Tollgate Road, removal of small section of boundary wall and insertion of 2 new stairwell windows to the side elevation of the house. No comments. Can we look at the street view and just see where that would overlook? I would suggest that if nobody's commented, then it probably affects nobody. But if we look at the street view a minute, and then we can. They're adding 2 windows on the blank side wall of the house. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't affect anybody. Al?
Yeah, there's 3 properties in Stonemason's yard, which are on the other side of the parking area, so I can't see that would be an issue for them, to be honest.
Okay, shall we support it then? Yep. And they can say, let there be light. Leaside 40 Longland, subdivision of an existing dwelling to form a separate residence. Longland's a very funny road. It's very narrow and not much room. Can we echo what the highways department say? We can't really support it, can we? Because if there's that many applications and there's so much undecisive nature on what's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, agree with highways. Yeah. So we're objecting in support of highways. Yeah. Right. 42 to 44 York Road, variation of condition of approved plans to amend the front and side elevations by reducing the size of the approved windows. If they're only wanting to make the windows smaller, I can't, as long as it's in keeping with. Should we support this one? Yeah. Happy to support? Yeah. Um, 48 to 49 Blue Ball Row, listed building consent for internal works to facilitate the removal and replacement of 3 cash machines and 1 no coin car, together with necessary adjustments to the automation wall. So that must be Nat West. Yeah. Any objections to that? No, that's fine. We'll support that. 12 to 14 Old George Mall, reposition of recessed entrance lobby to align to the existing shop front with the installation of 2 new double entrance doors and replacement of number 1 fascia signage. Andrew?
Yeah, it just looks quite simple, just a single, single into a double and aligning it. It looks absolutely fine to me.
Happy to support? Yeah. 106 Fisherton Street, change of use from Class D1 to Class E. Should we agree, should we support the public protection officer? Yeah. Right, the land off Ralston Street and to the rear of Endless Street. The erection of 3 dwellings, including access, parking, landscaping and associated work. This is the one, isn't it, that we had before where the lady had the concerns about the dry, and they still haven't moved it. So what have they revised on the plan according to this then?
Caroline?
Yeah.
So Mr. Minting put in some comments and they've responded. So that one there, 10th of November, and I think they've responded to quite a lot of those comments in a letter. Sorry, can you just scroll up and check the date on that? Because I might be wrong. Yes, no, it's not the response to the 10th.
last time the resident came, didn't they? Yeah. What do we think of this one then? So do we support what Andrew Minting's saying then? Okay, so because they've not put it in there, then they'd be required to put in another application, is that right? Yeah, if it was in and they've doubt, I'll go for it.
So looking at our previous comment, which basically mentioned the wall and the parking, it looks like the wall's been addressed, but the parking hasn't.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, that's my feeling. And
So they're halfway there.
yeah, yeah. Object, because they haven't addressed the plan, but addressed the parking issues from before. Millstream, oh, that's trees. We'll leave that to the end. Salisbury Cycling Club. Andrew, this is one of your favourites, isn't it?
It is, yes. So it seems to me they've dropped all mention of the uses that we were concerned about, the nail bar and the massage parlour. They have changed, if you like, the amount of work they want to do on the outside of the building, and they've not, for some reason, dropped the idea of sort of the double doors onto Rolleston Street, and effectively relying on the fairly small single door on Endless. Is it Endless Street, or I can't remember, Salt Lane, is it? Which seems a bit bizarre. The other thing is upstairs on the first floor, they seem to have majored on some kind of hot food kitchen, it's almost, looks like a cafeteria or something. It's all a bit weird. I am slightly, and it's all been, and the plans are very sketchy, as in it's not, for a listed building, you don't seem to have massively sort of detailed plans. So I'm slightly concerned about the relatively rushed nature for this to come back to us. So there you go, it's got that single sign, sorry, you just go back, that single sign there, the door to the right being the one and only door to a 2-story supermarket. And they're talking about replacing on the left-hand side of the building, as we can see it, obviously those black boarded up windows, putting, sash windows back in. Yet, they, in strict terms, they've restricted it down to the supermarket, which is what we wanted. So I just wish they'd done a slightly better job of explaining it and putting it forward. But in theory, it's down. They've not gone to sui generis by saying, well, this is just a supermarket. Yeah, it's really, a lot of hot food as well as supermarket food. If you look,
Yeah.
well, both in the upstairs, if you look at the upstairs first floor plan, that's one thing. And then it's also mentioned, I think, in the planning application as well. So if you go to the application form,
On the application form, yeah. Sorry.
the application form's down the bottom, or
Oh,
on you go to the first floor
Right.
plan.
Sorry, the other one I just had to have councillors was just for the sign, just in case I got confused.
Yeah.
So I was getting confused.
So if you scroll down there, there's somewhere it goes unknown as well. Stop. No, sorry, carry on. Okay. There we go, use class. This use class, and then there's an unknown bit there. So if you do not know the hours of opening, tick unknown. Okay, but then if you go to the first floor plan, there's a kitchen. Maybe that's maybe that's a staff site thing too. First floor plan. Oh. No, that's the ground. Is that the ground? Dan, one. Function room there. Okay. Maybe the kitchen room's there. Okay. Maybe I just kind of interpreted that then.
Al?
Thanks. I'm pretty familiar with this building because this is where Cogs used to meet. So downstairs is, well, the cycling club is a social club, obviously, with a bar downstairs and I think 2 or 3 like full-size snooker tables. And upstairs, probably the final remaining skittle alley in Salisbury, Old Star Skittle Alley. I don't think that upstairs room got a lot of use, to be quite honest. I think it's an improvement on the previous application, and I'd rather see this used than stay empty. So I'm minded just to say, yeah, happy with this.
Everybody happy to support it? Phil? Yeah. Yeah, we'll go for support then.
Sorry, could we put a condition perhaps on that it is just used as a supermarket and the expansion, is not to other uses apart from commercial sale of goods is not, because when the initial application came in, it came in as, this use of E or C, I can't remember what it is. So I just want to make sure that they're not, by the back door, get the change of use to this, and then suddenly, under the radar, they introduce what we were objecting to last time.
It's fine, but yeah.
Yeah.
Class E is.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, nail bars are a different class.
Yeah, nail bars that come in a different class.
But we can have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a different condition on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, happy with that? Where are we going now? Support. Oh, that's the sign.
Yeah, same one, but this was just for their sign. So
We happy to support their sign?
that's just for the, yeah.
Right. 53B Salt Lane, change of use of 53B Salt Lane from cafe to ground floor bedroom, 1-bedroom flat. This is the cafe on the corner, isn't it? Is it the one on the corner? This doesn't appear to be seeking retrospective consent without discuss the work. Yeah, it is on the corner. Support Andrew's comments. Right. Beechwood House, Bouverie Close, Harnham. Front porch extension and replacement glazing. New roof and rear conservatory. Andrew.
Yeah, I've had a look at this. It is, Bouverie Avenue, which is, quite big plots of land. Having said that, this plot is relatively narrow, but it's very long. And effectively, they're just trying to extend a little bit out the front, so it effectively squares off the front.
Okay.
So it infills a bit on the left, but it just squares off, because at the moment the front is sort of L-shaped, and it's just squaring off the L-shaped, extending to the left-hand side of the door. It changes some internal walls, so it gets 4 bedrooms as opposed to 3 bedrooms. And I think it's a slightly bigger, conservatory stroke sunroom at the back with one of those pyramid type tops, as opposed to a rather more traditional conservatory at the back, but it's not massively bigger, and it doesn't affect any properties either side because they're different depths.
The garden's
So
big enough to
it
take
looks all fine to me.
And what was the tree officer?
Basically, she's saying that she hasn't had a chance to
look
review
at
it,
Yeah,
but by location of the trees there,
they're at the front. Yeah.
they're at the front, and there's one at the back to the side, but it doesn't really affect that one either. So I can't see that is going to be a problem.
I'm happy to support that. Everybody happy to support? Yeah. Right. 33 New Canal shopfront alterations to eastern elevation. That's the one that's changing the door. Yeah. Yeah, it's just adding a yeah. Happy to support? Yeah. St Andrew's Way proposed ground rear extension, garage conversion, internal alterations, floor pan redesign and all associated works. There's no comments on it. Anybody else looked at it? No? All had it done, yeah. I think no comment. Go no comment on that one. Right. Windstone, Portland Avenue. Oh, that's trees. Oh, North Walk the Close. Structural work to stabilise rear roof slope as part of re-roofing, replacement of rotten timbers and repair of front dormer windows. Internal works comprising of removing defective lathe and plaster surfaces to attic rooms. And replacement with wood fibre board to improve installation levels and lime-based plaster finish. I think it's just basic remedial work, isn't it? It's not, yeah, it's refurbishment. So no comment? Right, Montpesson House, refurbishment of the northeast bedroom to reopen it to public view. This will not involve the removal of modern and intrusive elements to reveal historic fabric, which will be conserved. Oh, this will involve be conserved and repaired. I think Andrew?
Yeah, the comments by the Salisbury Cathedral Close Preservation Society are very positive. So they've done a great job of planning it. I just happened to have been around Mompesson House pretty recently, and that room is closed off from the public. And from what I can see, without going into forensic detail, they seem to have done a very good job planning what should be a good improvement and allowing the public to get back in that room.
Happy to support it. All in favour? Yeah, we'll support that one then. And next we've got the chapter house, carry out repairs and replacement roof coverings, replacement tiles to be an exact match. I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. So happy to support. Yeah. Right now, trees. Are we happy to take them all on block? Yeah. There we go. I do like that bit. Next, we've got late business. We'll do first. Right. Crane Street, change of use. Class A2, financial and professional. Class 3, dwelling. Andrew.
Yeah, I've had a look at this. It's a couple of doors down from the pub, actually. You're better off on Google Maps, I think. If you go to Crane Street, there's a building opposite that you can select and then do the 360 to see the front door.
Is it where the solicitors was, or is? No,
I think it's sort of virtually next door to the solicitors, I think. It's not actually, it's a bit closer to, so if you zoom in there a wee bit and then go to the right, zoom in a bit more. So yeah, if you select that MNP there, select that MNP, yeah, it's that white building there on the right.
Yeah.
So it's quite a scruffy looking building, one of these ones that have got, myriads of floors, where the front of the house is different elevation from the back of the house. So you kind of go up half a flight of stairs each time. And they want to convert that back. Our fellow councillor, Mr. Sample, is very much in favour of this. Basically saying.
I think I could kind of agree. I used to work in the one next door, and I'm familiar with the back of that building, which needs a bit of upkeep too. So are we all in favour?
Yeah, I think the only thing you've got to think about is, okay, if it's not an office, would it make a good retail outlet? It's pretty narrow with a pretty narrow frontage, so it's probably not going to make a massive.
I mean, there's no parking there or anything, but yeah.
And if somebody's going to turn it into a nice house, are there enough other shops around?
Of course there is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there is parking because they've got their own garage. Oh no, maybe no, they haven't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the old Vale House.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to support the change of use. Yeah, support. Right, next. Crown reduction on that one because that's late business, so we didn't do it on block with the other ones. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Andrew.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with this. I drive past this one as well. Going home. So Shakespeare Road, when you come out of that onto Stratford Road, it's opposite, the bottom end of Hudson's Field. You sort of, if you look up to the right, up in towards the town and the gentleman's, care home that we've just been talking about, the road does bend round a corner, and unfortunately the house that is, so there it is. So if you look right coming out of that road there, you can see there's a slight bend in the road, and where you've been, if you put your pointer back up there, if you just put your pointer, closer to the junction. Yeah, and just go south, down to number 1. So unfortunately, I think he's a builder, and he has vans, and he parks a lot of them on that corner. So there, that house there, and he parks them, just by the corner of that fence, right on that corner there. And I did actually pull in coming here to have a look out. And funny old thing, there was a big van there and you couldn't really see up the hill. So if you were going to put yellow lines, you'd need to put them from the junction, back to where that fence is. Now people can park, there is a gap, and then you have the next road up to the right, and there's been sort of complaints about people parking on the corner up there because they have to cross the road to get to the bus stop. So it's one of those things. In theory, you shouldn't have to do it but I think people do park their van sort of that, I can't remember how many feet you have to be away from a junction when you park. So it's a certain number of meters, but where, if you were to take that set number of meters and put a van there, it is pretty restricting on the view up the hill.
Al?
I'm happy to support this, although I think we need to check if it's a duplication, because I think we may have already had a highways improvement request for these corners with people
Yeah.
with people parking when they were going over to Hudson's Field.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We had, but I think is it
There's quite a
Lawrence
few.
Close?
There's one
Yeah.
there was one about the bottom of the Portway,
Mm.
and there was one on about the corners of Shakespeare Road as well, I think, where people were actually parking physically on the corners.
Yeah.
So happy to support it otherwise.
Happy to support? Yeah.
Second it.
Yeah. Who's going to propose it?
Alan did. I did.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
We got it. Hey, that brings our meeting to a close at 19:23. I'm on. Happy Christmas.